Hey guys, thanks for watching, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a spike trap from Fortnite. Now you might be asking yourself, why in the world would I need one of these things? And the answer to that, why would you not need one of those? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started, but before we begin the tutorial bit, how about I just show you what it's going to look like? Alright, so you just have your innocent person coming around the corner, he's going to his office job, and, well, bam! Gets spike trapped. Easy. Alright, let's move on to the tutorial part of this video. So first you're going to want to create a spike wall. It doesn't have to be a spike wall, so you could have a giant block come out of it and crush the player, or have a pig come out of the wall. It doesn't really matter. If you want to use what I have, then I use the antenna, which can be found under props, tech, and then antennas, and I use the 1x1x12. Keep in mind that each spike uses one script, so if you have other scripts on the map, you may not want to use too many spikes on your wall. So next you're going to go ahead and create a scripting brain. These can be found under extras, scripting, and then scripting brains, and it doesn't matter which one you use. And you're going to put it in front of your wall. Now go to object properties, and under where it says boundary, change the type to box, so from none to box, and then the width, length, top, and, well, not the bottom, keep that at 0, but the rest of them, these should be the size of how high the wall is, how long the wall is. I usually use 16 by 16 walls, so that's what I made my boundary to. So just make sure this is the size of the hallway and the distance to the roof, so that the player will most definitely walk through it when they are trying to get through the hallway. Alright, now once you've done that, we can go ahead and start adding scripts. So open up your scripting brain and go to object properties, and at the bottom add a script. So the first script you're going to add is going to have the condition of round event, start, and then the action is going to be power set, alpha, and on. Now I'll explain more later what this alpha variable means, because it'll be used in future scripts. So go ahead and back out of that and add another script and open that up. This one is going to have the condition boundary check, which is the last one, so if you move left one you'll get to it. Enter, the filters players, and then make the repeat 0.05. And then go down to the action and make the action 1 message send, and then bravo. Alright, so what this does is when the player enters the boundary, it sends a message on Barvo, and this Barvo variable will be used to will be referenced in other scripts. So go ahead, back out, add another script, open that one up, and the condition of this one is going to be message power multi, and right here. Keep trigger count as 2. The condition 1 is going to be message received on Barvo. The condition 2 is going to be power check, alpha, on, and then action 1 is going to be message send, alpha, damage ratio, and you're going to change the ratio to 100%. And then go to objects and change mod 1 to boundary this. Change mod 2 to players add. No. Players include. Sorry, that's what I meant. And what this will do is it's going to look at all of the players that are in its boundary and then add them to the list of things we're going to apply the damage to. So what this will do, this whole script, is it'll check has a message been received from Barvo, which was from this script, so has a player entered the boundary, and then it'll check is alpha on, and alpha is the variable that's going to be used in the timing of it. Then if those two things are true, send a message to alpha, which is going to tell the spikes to activate, and then damage all of the players who are inside the boundary 100%. So essentially kill all the players who are inside the boundary. And go ahead and back out of that. Finally, add one more script, and script 4. The condition is going to be message received alpha, so the spike trap should be activating when this is sent out. Power set, for action 1, power set. Alpha off. Add another action. Action 2 is going to be wait. And it's going to be 3 seconds. And then action 3 is going to be power set alpha on. Alright, so what this does is when the spike trap has been activated, which is what alpha represents, change the power of alpha off. It waits 3 seconds, and then it turns it back on. And so what this does is it's disabling the spike trap from activating for a whole 3 seconds, so that it isn't just rapid fire and killing anyone who walks into the boundary. And if you want the reload time, so the spike trap has gone off and then it goes back in and then it has to wait a minute before it can be used again, make this time variable longer. I just made mine 3 seconds, so essentially it hits it comes back, and then it's pretty much ready to go right away. But you can do whatever you want. Now the last thing we need to do is get your spikes scripted. There's only one script you need to apply to them, so this should be pretty simple. If all of your spikes are the same object, then go ahead and select one of them, go to object properties and hit select all of, so you can select all of them very quickly. If they're not all the same object, then you're just going to have to manually go select them all. And then, because we're going to be adding a script to all of them at the same time. So once you've done that, go ahead, press X, go to object properties, go to the bottom and add a script, and then open up that script. Now, the condition is going to be message received alpha, so that's the variable from earlier. It's saying, hey, go ahead and activate the spike trap. And then action 1 is going to be move offset. And then what you're going to have to do is these 3 variables. You need to find which one makes your object go forward. Now, I know X says forward, but like for my spikes right here, I bent them sideways, right? So the forward would actually make them go sideways. So the relative forward that I'm looking for is actually vertical for these. So just kind of mess around with that, find out which direction makes the spikes go through the wall and hit the player. And then once you've done that, you want to go ahead and increase this value next to it to almost the length of the whole hallway. Essentially, you want to make it about as far as you can without them poking out of the wall. So without this back part poking out of the wall when it's stabbed the players. And for me, in this 16 by 16 kind of hallway, it's going to be 10. So if you're using the same spikes, go ahead and put yours as 10. Once you've done that, go ahead and change the time for that to 0.01. And add another action. For action 2, you need to change this to wait. And then change it to 2. And then add another action. And action 3 is going to be position/rotation reset. And then make the time 1. So what this does is when the variable alpha has been received, when it's supposed to stab the players, you're going to move it forward through the wall, the amount of distance it needs to go through to look realistic, and then it's going to happen in 0.1 seconds. So it's just going to right away happen. There's no way the player could even physically dodge it. It's going to wait 2 seconds, so that's how long the blades are going to stay stuck out of the wall. And then it's going to go back into place for it to be used again. And that's going to happen the same amount of time that happened the first time. So you might have noticed that as you're trying to try your device, it's not working. And that's because for some reason in Forge, it doesn't like to have the power variables enabled at the start of the game for some reason. So what you need to do is go ahead and spawn in a terminal or a keypad. And those can be found under extras, scripting, and then keypad or terminal. I'm going to use a terminal. And open it up, go to Object Properties, add a script, and the condition is going to be interacted, and then action 1 is power set alpha on. And then all you have to do is push this button. Now that you've pushed the button, it's the power is enabled, you can walk right through it, and it stabs you and you're good to go. Don't worry about this not working in custom games, because we already accounted for it. So at the beginning of each round in custom games, it will have alpha be enabled. But if you're testing it in Forge, you need to do that, because why not? So I hope you enjoyed, hope you found it useful, and I hope you stab a ton of people. If you enjoyed it, then maybe consider subscribing. If you have any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer them. Just go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, maybe leave a like. If you didn't, if you absolutely hated it and wish that I never even made it, then maybe hit that dislike button. I'll understand. And anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace.